Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, March 12th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. On Monday, the CDC announced new guidelines regarding people who have been fully vaccinated. Public Health Director Sigal Reese explains.
The CDC issued new recommendations for individuals who are fully vaccinated. That means 2 weeks after your second dose, or with the J&J vaccine, the one dose. Fully vaccinated people are less likely to have asymptomatic infection and potentially less likely to transmit COVID to others. How long vaccine protection lasts and how much vaccines protect against emerging COVID variants are still under investigation. Until more is known and vaccine coverage increases, some prevention measures will continue to be necessary for all people, regardless of vaccine status. With that said, there are some activities fully vaccinated individuals can do. Fully vaccinated people can visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. They may visit with unvaccinated people from a single household who are at low risk for severe COVID-19 disease, indoors without masks or physical distancing. Fully vaccinated people will not need to quarantine or get tested after a known exposure if they don't have symptoms. Also, the state has revised the travel order, and fully vaccinated individuals are exempt from the travel restrictions. In either case, those with symptoms should stay home and get tested. In order to protect others, fully vaccinated people should continue to wear a well-fitted mask and maintain physical distancing in public, and when visiting with unvaccinated people who are at increased risk for severe COVID-19 disease. They should continue to avoid medium and large-size in-person gatherings and get tested if experiencing symptoms of COVID-19.
Thanks, Sigal. It's hard to believe that it has been 1 year since Massachusetts issued a state of emergency due to the COVID pandemic. Earlier this week, Tony Mizuko posted a message on his social media in which part of it read, "I wouldn't repeat the last 12 months for all the money in the world, but if I had to live this nightmare over again, there is no other group and no other community I'd rather be a part of." Throughout this year, we have learned a lot and have become accustomed to our new normal of mask wearing, social distancing, and virtual meetings. Brian Boudreau takes us through the COVID year.
Thanks, Kristen. 1 year ago this week, Massachusetts issued a state of emergency due to rising COVID numbers here in the Commonwealth. At the local level here in Norwood, a number of town officials were among the first to be quarantined in the state as a result of being a close contact. Included in that quarantine was General Manager Tony Mizuko.
It's tough to be in quarantine. Again, I was lucky on the health side. I'm lucky on the work side that my work has been keeping me quite busy responding to folks and getting in touch with folks. But I think it's important to try to find a little time each day to do something that you enjoy, whether it's a little bit of reading, try to watch a little bit of television, play a little bit of a video game. I've been having lunch dates via Skype with folks, and that stuff, little things like that are important to just keep some sense of regularity.
In the weeks and months following, society as we knew it began to change. Superintendent Dave Thompson announced that Norwood Public Schools would be moving to fully remote learning. All town buildings were closed to the public, and many businesses were forced to shut their doors. With all these tough times came stories of hope as residents and business owners stepped up to help those in need.
So we started out with a spreadsheet of just local places that were looking for masks, Norwood Hospital being amongst them. A lot of the all the local nursing homes, so Chartwell, Ellis, Victoria Haven, Benchmark, all of those. And those were really our primary focus, making sure that all of our local frontline people were covered. The police station, they've gone to Norwood DPW, the light department, the fire department, food services at the schools, so that the staff who are serving all the lunches to the kids every day are protected. Food pantry, we've covered them. So and I think that now we might actually be close to 8,000 masks and now surgical caps as well that we've gotten out to places.
With the warm weather of summer came the reopening of many businesses and restaurants. Sidewalks and streets turned into extensions of restaurants as residents enjoyed their dinners safely outside. Central Street was transformed into a community picnic area for residents to enjoy. And enjoy it they did. Sports resumed play as kids across the town took to the baseball diamonds for summer ball. And the rec department worked hard to safely open Haas pools so residents could escape the heat. In August, the school committee announced that the public schools would be reopening in the hybrid plan, which would be a mix of in-person and remote learning.
On Monday, August 10th, 4 of our members met and deliberated for quite some time around what our preferred model for the opening plan was. After a lot of deliberation, the committee voted 3-1 that our preferred model for reopening for the 2020-2021 school year is the hybrid model. Now, it is important to understand that with the hybrid model, families do retain family choice, and as required by the state, Norwood Public Schools is offering a remote learning academy.
The second week of September saw children back in the classrooms. School is back in swing, and high school sports, with many restrictions, were set to begin in October. Residents hit the polls early in November for the presidential election. The town worked hard to host the election in the safest way possible. As the winter rolled in, the cases were back on the rise and the restrictions tightened. But with the new year came new hope, as Norwood's own Moderna shipped out doses of the vaccine, and our own police and fire chiefs were of the first to receive it.
We queued up people here in the building. Their hands were sanitized, they wore a mask, it was a safe environment. Then you came in and got the shot. I said before, it's like the first time in my life I look forward to getting a shot, right? Usually you get a shot because you have to or you think you should. I wanted this shot in the worst way, and I want the next one February 8th in the worst way. I really didn't feel it. I wouldn't have known she was giving me a shot, except that I could see her. It really, there was no pain, there was no discomfort at all.
I think it was important, to show the members of the department that I'm confident in this vaccine, and also the members of the community here in Norwood. I have the highest confidence in Moderna. It's a company here in Norwood that we've had a relationship with them for a number of years, and I think the science behind this is solid, and I have no problem doing it, and I hope the community at large does also.
As the vaccine continues to roll out to the residents here in Norwood and across the state, we are slowly making strides to returning to normalcy. It has been a long and trying year for many of us here in Norwood. As this year progresses, let's make the COVID year a fading memory of the past. For Norwood News, I'm Brian Boudreau.
Thanks, Brian. It has been a long year, and it finally feels like we are moving in the right direction. 2 weeks ago, the fire department announced the passing of retired firefighter John Belanti. Belanti served the department and the town of Norwood for 19 years, spending the majority of his career on Group 1. This past Saturday, the fire department honored Belanti as his funeral procession passed by the firehouse. Firefighters said goodbye to their friend and co-worker one final time. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Belanti family. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Lucky the Leprechaun has been loose in Norwood, dropping gold coins at local playgrounds in town. Katie Seastead has more on how we can catch Lucky and these gold coins.
Hi Norwood, Katie Seastead here at Bond Street. We are talking about the Lucky Leprechaun scavenger hunt that is starting March 15th and it's going to go to the 19th. We hope that you go around to our 6 different playgrounds. You are looking for these gold coins. Hopefully no one will touch them. Please make sure that you keep the coins where they are. We don't want people touching them. Make sure if you are going out and looking for the coins, and Lucky, who is at every single playground, you have your mask on, you're staying socially distant, and that you're having a great time. Now remember, in order to be entered to win a prize, you need to take pictures with the coins, and Lucky the Leprechaun, Christina Grandy did a great job. I think it's called a shamrockin' selfie, so make sure you do that. Post it on our Facebook page for this event, and then we'll hopefully pick some prizes out in our winners. We hope you have a fun time. Remember, Norwood, you're looking for these gold coins that are at our 6 playgrounds. Please stay tuned for Christina Grandy and what playgrounds they'll be at.
Thanks, Katie. Christina Grandy here with the Norwood Recreation Department. I'm at the Doherty Playground, one of the 6 playgrounds for the Lucky Leprechaun scavenger hunt. Just as a reminder, Doherty, Bond, Ellis, Murphy, Hawes, and Father Max are all 6 of the playgrounds we'll be having the scavenger hunt at. Wear your green, take a shamrockin' selfie with Lucky and a gold coin.
The town election is less than a month away. Mary Lou Folan, town clerk, has some important information for residents who wish to vote absentee.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Lou Folan from the town clerk's office, and I just wanted to share some absentee ballot information. Anybody that wants to vote absentee through the mail must fill out an absentee ballot application before a ballot can be mailed to them. The deadline to apply for an absentee ballot application is Tuesday, March 30th. The absentee ballot application can be found on the Town of Norwood website, or also you can call the town clerk's office and we can mail one to you. All absentee ballots are due back to the town clerk's office on or before Monday, April 5th, 2021 at 8 p.m. And absentee ballots can also be dropped off in the drop boxes at Town Hall or can be mailed in. And I also wanted to remind everybody that the deadline for voter registration for the annual town election is Tuesday, March 16th, which is next week.
Now we will toss it over to Juliana O'Neill in studio to find out what is happening this week around the school district.
Hi guys, I'm Juliana O'Neill, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In Norwood High School news, this year technology teachers Dr. Mike Crowley and Brendan Crowley have learned how to use Open Broadcaster software. This is a free streaming and recording program that provides real-time capture, recording, and broadcasting. This software allowed them to capture the testing performed on student projects that are completely remote and send the video to the students so that they can complete the assignment. Let's take a look.
Okay, this is what we see here. Is this normal, guys? Should we see this? Next, I'm going to cut over to the camera, and I'm going to move this to the side. So you can see what I have is right here. This is the encoder. It's attached to the PIC microprocessor. And it's on ports 5 and 6. I'm going to put that back over there now. What should happen next is, this is a bench test. I put an axle into the encoder. I'm going to rotate this axle by hand. And when I do, we should see the value of your optical shaft encoder should go up. So is your test successful? Is your bench test code that you wrote successful? Yes or no? Now I stopped turning the shaft, so see how it stopped going up? So Cam, Jack, and Thomas, is this correct? Did you write the code successfully? Is your test successful? If it is, you have to provide one piece of evidence in your response and answer that question in the comment field in the Google Classroom for this assignment, okay? Excellent job, guys.
Balch Elementary School students took advantage of the beautiful weather this week. Students are so thankful to our amazing PTO for the new playground structure that has made recess so much fun. Our students are also grateful for the Community Preservation Committee and the Recreation Center for their support of the building of an outdoor classroom. These first grade students at the Oldham School are playing a place value game socially distanced style. What a creative way to use a piece of cardboard to create distance and using wood sticks to help them learn math. At the Callahan School, grade 4 of the Remote Learning Academy spent the last few weeks learning three-dimensional with Tinkercad. In Remote Library with Mr. Rowland, they designed their own homes while learning some computer-aided design basics. Their imagination and hard work really shows in these examples. It looks like these Callahan students would fit right in at the high school in the technology classes. At the Prescott School, the third grade team of Miss Hatchie, Miss Condon, and Miss Fico made sure that one of the most exciting projects of the year continued despite the changes of the school year. Third graders participated in the annual Wax Museum, where they conducted research on a historical figure, organized a written speech, and recorded it for all to see. Some of the historic figures studied include Michelle Obama, George Lucas, Jane Goodall, Jackie Robinson, Kobe Bryant, and Princess Diana. Along with the videos, students also completed a poster that contained the timeline of their historical person's life that adorned the walls of the school gym. This year, an added bonus was the students' creative ways to showcase their historic person through a recorded video at home. Kids were able to do multiple takes, get the camera angles right, and produce a final product that was truly amazing. The students did a fantastic job, and the entire Prescott community is proud of their work. This week at the Willett, the students in Miss Wilson's and Mrs. Stenstrom's classrooms were working on their addition skills. They used a shaker that included a pair of dice inside a shake and roll. This helps to prevent the dice from going all around the room. As the numbers landed, the students added up the pair and worked to find a matching number on their domino sheet. Some children are now able to hold on to one number and count on to get the sum total, while others are starting to see the value of the two numbers together and can look at the dominoes to see if that number has been circled or crossed out already. One of the great things about this activity is that it is differentiated based on each child's level. The ultimate goal is for the students to know their fast facts and for them to be automatic, which means they immediately know the sum in their brains after they view the two die. Well, that's it for the school news. There is something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now I'll send it over to Brian Dunn with this week's sports news.
Hello and welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn, and Fall 2 officially kicked off this week with girls volleyball action inside the Nolet Johnson Court Thursday afternoon. Coach Panola and the freshman squad were up first after going down 1-0. Norwood climbed back into it and forced a decisive third set. Competitive play right up to the bitter end, but Medfield takes the match 2-1 with a Game 3 score of 25-14. JV hits the court next, and although the end result wasn't what the Mustangs had hoped, we saw some great flashes of brilliance from the likes of players of Maddie Federico. JV drops their match to Medfield in straight sets. The final match was the varsity feature. Norwood previously dropped their game to Medfield on Tuesday and looked to bounce back, and Norwood was competitive in every set. As our commentator Kristen McDonald mentioned, Medfield has consistently been a top program in the state, and they hold that reputation true as they beat the Mustangs in straight sets. Finally, I'll leave you with some exciting news regarding two gymnastics senior all-stars. I'll let the team take it over from here.
I do want to add that
Yes.
Elizabeth and Julie will be representing Massachusetts at the National High School competition in May.
Oh, that's awesome.
They were selected as well, so that's just, I didn't know if you guys were going to throw that out as...
I was going to say that for my favorite moment from high school.
Not many people know it yet because it just happened, but...
and where's that?
It's going to be it's in Fort Myers, Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. That's still very up
It's
in
in
the air,
May,
too.
so we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, so you know what that just did is that just scored you guys another invite to come back here and give us an update on at the end of the season. So you got to come on camera one more time.
Sounds
Perfect.
good.
Excellent job to you both. We look forward to hearing more in the coming months. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. In government, Monday night, the planning board met and started their business off with a public hearing about a special permit for a drive-through restaurant on 940 Boston Providence Highway. After a lengthy discussion, the board made a motion to approve with two conditions.
All right, Mr. Petrikowski.
Yep, thanks you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we approve the plan with the condition that the drive-through lane is operated by Taco Bell and only Taco Bell.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second,
Mr. Sheehan, a second on that. Okay,
and just one further question.
yes.
When it comes to the fence, just to make sure that we're on the same page, are we leaving this up to, what materials will be used to be satisfied for Paul to take that authority or to okay that? We haven't. That's the one thing we haven't. I don't know if we know what kind of material they're using and so on and so forth. And if we could put that in a condition if it's necessary, I don't know. I just want to ask Paul that.
Mr. Alkiotis?
Mr. Chairman, I was going to leave the type of material up to the applicant, but include a condition that says a 6-foot solid fence.
Okay. Would Ernie want to add that into his?
I'll add that in as a second condition, and the applicant can decide, or if need be, town planner can approve it. But we'll make that a second condition. 6-foot fence and the drive-through window.
The motion passed unanimously. The board also accepted the motion to endorse the revised site plans that were submitted by Moderna on 1 Moderna Way. To end the meeting, the board discussed upcoming dates and planned their next meeting for March 29th. At Tuesday night's Board of Selectmen meeting, both Chief Brooks and Chief Maurice gave their monthly department updates. Chief Brooks announced that NPD will be stepping up traffic enforcement. Enforcement had been relaxed since the beginning of COVID, and with more and more people getting vaccinated, they will be ramping up their efforts. Chief Maurice was excited to announce the hiring of 4 new firemen to the department.
All 4 have Norwood ties. 2 of them grew up in Norwood. One is Stephen Boudreau. He's a young Norwood man. His family is on his mother's side, the DeFlaminers family, and his grandfather Sam was a firefighter on the department. We also have Michael Doliner, who's another individual who grew up in Norwood, and I know that many people know the Doliner family name. They're very involved with athletics, specifically baseball in town. And then we have Sean Hartley, who's a very impressive young man. He was a Marine Corps officer, and we look forward to him starting with the department. And we also have Joseph Doyle, who is an Army veteran who served in Afghanistan in combat. So I think we have 4 really great candidates who have now joined the department, and we'll look forward to working with them.
After meeting with the chiefs, new Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott introduced himself to the board and talked about some of his goals he hopes to accomplish during his term. The Board of Selectmen will meet again next week on March 16th at 7 p.m. Also Tuesday, the Board of Library Trustees met to discuss multiple items on their agenda. The board began their meeting by discussing the strategic plan as well as the FY21 budget, with both being on the right track. With CDC gathering and indoor guidelines being changed by the state, the library has come to realize that they can fit 50 people in their building safely, making sure high traffic areas such as the children's room has proper guidance. On the COVID topic, the board approved a motion to write a letter to the state about opening the vaccine to library workers in this next phase. The board's next meeting will be held April 13th. The Community Preservation Committee was the first meeting of Wednesday night. Before removing 2 projects from the application, one of the projects discussed was the removal of the fire bell. Peter McFarland and others believe they don't have enough information on the project to get it passed before the March 24th CPC public hearing. Other projects included interpretive signs that John Hall spoke on and gave useful feedback. Other business ended with a project update from Paul Halkiotis and an update on Patrick Deschain's replacement. The CPC will next meet on March 24th for their public hearing. In Wednesday's school committee meeting, administration from all levels presented their findings from the new school start time task force. Principals from elementary, middle school, and high school levels presented their findings on a change in school start time, which included not only student feedback, but parent surveys and potential complications that can arise from the delay in start time. The board made the decision not to install any changes in the fall of 2021, but to accept the recommendations of the task force and set a plan in motion to adopt changes in the fall of 2022.
All right, I think that we are voting on a motion to accept the proposal and the general tiered approach, and to request that additional study be done on this particular tier, like this particular arrangement, to see if the elementary can be brought back just a little bit later. And then we would look for final start times no later than the spring of 2022. So I think that's the motion.
And I feel the need to add pending there is not a global pandemic continuing underway.
Okay, so let's vote. So on that amended motion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Was that 5? Sorry, I'm right. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so 5-0.
Other major news from Dr. Thompson's superintendent's report is the return to full in-person learning in the coming weeks. The school is moving forward with the plan to bring back K-5 elementary students on April 5th and middle school students April 28th, with a return for the high school to be determined.
Considerations, we now, as of Tuesday, have the commissioner's plan. I did share that with the committee yesterday as well. Kind of wish we had that weeks ago, We had to read between the lines to figure out where we were going. Been a lot of talk from the commissioner's office about 5 days in-person learning. Remote learning will not count towards time on learning unless it is a parent choice to stay in a remote learning academy.
The committee also discussed budget subcommittee updates and continued discussion in the HR consolidation policy. The school committee will meet again on March 24th. Thursday night, the Capital Outlay Committee met and began their meeting with a discussion on moving capital to the fall. Also during the meeting, the committee covered changes to the CIP and an update on approved projects. The next Capital Outlay Committee meeting will be in April. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more news.
The Norwood League of Women Voters invites you to tune in to our Candidates Forum on Monday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. We are once again proud to partner with Norwood Community Media to bring you this live event right in the comfort of your own homes. The question and answer portion will feature the contested municipal office races, one-year library trustee seat, planning board, and school committee. Our uncontested municipal races will be featured in a video reel directly following the program. Questions for the library, planning board, or school committee candidates can be submitted to our email address, lwvnorwoodma@gmail.com, up through Saturday, March 20th. We hope you tune into the forum to learn about the offices on the April 5th municipal ballot. Thank you, and remember, voting matters, and your vote matters most of all.
Welcome back. Thursday night, the library, along with Together Yes and Progress Norwood, hosted the 2021 Spring Sustainability Series. The presentation centered around the extreme weather patterns happening in Norwood, specifically the drought of the Neponset River and the June 28th flash flood that forced the closing of Norwood Hospital. Follow the Morrill Memorial Library on Twitter for the next Sustainability Series event. With the nice weather comes many people out enjoying walks in our local parks. If you have been walking through Shattuck Park this week and noticed brown bears, no, they are not real. They are part of a bear scavenger hunt for the program Norwood Coordinated Family Community Engagement. Marie Kidd, CFCE Grants Coordinator, explains where the idea for the bear hunt came from.
The CFCE is trying to do as much outdoor programming as we can these last few months. So the bear hunt is a great way to get families and their little ones out here to explore, to read the riddle, and to just check out Shattuck Park. So there are 2 entrances to Shattuck Park. The riddle is posted at each entrance, and then if you see the green flyers, those are scattered throughout the park, and that just explains that there's 5 brown bears hiding throughout the woods here, and that's what you want to look for. And then there's a QR code when you leave the park, and if you scan that, we'll send you a free children's book just for participating.
Kidd also explains what the CFCE is.
The CFCE is the Coordinated Families Community Engagement Grant through the Norwood Public Schools. It is funded by the Department of Early Ed and Care, and our mission is to promote both early literacy and family engagement. So a program like the Bear Hunt does both. They'll read the riddle, they'll get a book for participating, and we hope that they get to come out here and do this with a family member. We'd love for you to come out. It runs until March 16th. The response has been overwhelming so far. It's self-guided, so anytime that you can get here before it gets dark out, you can check it out, and you can get a free book for doing so.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week, and until then, have a great weekend.